Hey, morning team. So I apologize if I come off a little bit crusty at the moment. I'm just getting my first cup of coffee, and I've probably recorded this thing five or so times at the moment. So attempting to polish it every time I go. But you know me, I want to be as transparent as possible. And I was ideating or thinking about a handful of things regarding the company. Um, we need a unifying task, and I think we also need different forms of communication because text is great. It does provide a clear format for folks to reference back in the future. It's a lot easier in that they don't have to take notes and they can just search for things on Discord. But it doesn't really create a unifying experience for all the team members, and it doesn't really provide much of an opportunity for all of us to work together. Um, so I'd like to propose this new initiative of a async video channel so that we can do occasional check-ins just via video like this. And what I mean by async is we don't actually all have to be on the call at the same time or on a video at the same time. We can just kind of share our thoughts, maybe a vibe check of like where we think the company's at and what we think the vision is and where we want it to head. And on that token, I realized that that is my job. And I wanted to also emphasize our long term vision and short term vision to try to help simplify things and kind of unify us a bit. So, our long term strategy is ultimately integration with a bunch of different productivity and to do apps. Trello, for example, Todoist, TickTick, and a few other platforms, I think would be fantastic to integrate eventually. So that's long-term vision. We want to be integrated with a ton of different apps and make a very seamless experience for folks to be able to utilize our application as just an additional interface and an additional tool to manage their tasks. Um, we're also going to be implementing AI to help manage those tasks, break them down into smaller steps, and provide ADHD coaching to folks at a more affordable rate than what the market standard is. So, long term vision. But short term vision, we have to get this MVP out the door. We can't be a company if we don't have an MVP. We can't get funding if we don't have an MVP and users. So I'm just being, real about that aspect because I want to be able to, frankly, I want to be able to hire everyone on the team. I love working with you guys at the moment, and I see a lot of potential in folks on the team, and I'm really excited to see where everybody's career trajectory is headed, and I would love to be a part of that and be able to support that. So, I think unifying us on just a simple couple of starting goals and smaller tasks might be the best approach. So yesterday I posted in the development channel in Discord, hey team, how do you feel about tackling the web app in these steps? And I laid out 10 or so different steps. The first step, though, is the one I wanted to highlight, which is to mock up the front end using Bootstrap. And I wanted to keep everything very minimal. So what I mean by that is basically creating a mockup that is non-functional. We create just like the sign-up page, we create the registration page, we create what tasks are going to look like, all of these things on mobile and on desktop, just in HTML and CSS. We're not going to add reactivity, and we're not going to hydrate it with any sort of real data from the backend or a persistent database. I think this approach is probably the ideal first step. And while I loved Nick's approach of taking a very holistic, full stack approach, I think it's also a much more heavy lift technically for most of the folks on the team. So I think in just choosing a task that allows us to work with just HTML and CSS, I feel like the vast majority of people on the team will be able to help out with this. And that's what I'm really excited about. Is just to keep the organization structure nice and flat, to make sure that everyone can participate and everyone is consistently building their portfolio pieces. Plus, this will be a fantastic opportunity for you to document the process of creating a web application. You'll basically see web application creation from end to end. So that is something a story that you can tell in future interviews if you need to. And it's an opportunity to add these additional components to your portfolio to show the progression of, yes, I know what I'm talking about. Here's the design process. Here's the mock-up process. Here's the, front-end development process, and then the back-end development process, and then the next step of integrating everything. So I think that'll be very important for everyone on the team to really get that experience. I think ultimately we're heading towards a future, and I mean this in general, just as an American society and developed society in general. We're heading towards a future in which it's people aren't going to have to specialize anymore. Being just a designer or just a developer or something of that nature. I feel like with the empowerment of AI, a lot of folks are going to be able to do their own marketing, their own design, their own development. And I'd really like to take a more innovative approach to our development process and utilize a lot more tools like generative AI and ChatGPT, and not have this odd faux pas like at a lot of companies where you can't use AI. So, flat org structure, innovative process, and having a unifying task, I think would really benefit us at the moment and in the short term. So our current redevelop the website so that it's more appealing to users to join our Discord community. Our Discord community will then act as an important information source and echo chamber for folks on the team so you can get more familiarized with ADHD. So focus on the website and then focus on the web app as we've been doing. And as a unifying task, bring everyone together to work on the front end. Then we'll have something visual, We'll have something visual that we can share with folks that have ADHD. We'll have plenty of folks around that have ADHD and can immediately give us feedback or quickly give us feedback on the designs and the user interface. And we can then start iterating on that as quickly as possible. I think with these approaches, we'll be faster to market. There'll be fewer technical challenges for us, and it'll just put us in a better place overall. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I would like to hire everyone on this team. I think everyone is great, and I would love to see the future development of everybody. But in order to do that, we need funding, and in order to do that, we need users. So let's just start simple. We have a long-term vision, we have a short-term vision, we have a couple goals. Let's focus on those goals, make the website better and more appealing for ADHD folks, bring more ADHD folks onto this Discord server, and you'll see them marked as a white username as opposed to a purple username. So they only have access to like those few channels over there with the speech bubble next to them in Discord. But yeah, just bring more folks on. We'll start with an easy technical lift and we'll continue to innovate. The importance here is to just ship quickly and encourage communication and a flat organization structure so that we can get out a product, we can get money for you guys, and we can get a sustainable company going. So anyway, those are my thoughts this morning. I apologize for rambling a bit, but hopefully that clears up a couple of things, addresses a couple of elephants in the room, and gives you a greater sense of direction. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to respond via text under this video or record a video of your own and just post in this channel. All right, well, thanks, team, and hope you have a great morning.